Welcome back to the channel, and today we're looking at base Van Nistelrooy. You can see here he's medium low, right footed, 6'2", 3-star, 3-star. So it doesn't scream out the most fantastic start to a car, but hear me out here. You can play striker or centre forward. So he's got amazing shot power, finishing, really good composure, and not terrible short pass. And the reason we've got a Hawk on him is because he becomes lengthy, which is amazing on new gen. It is the meta, so the fact that he can be lengthy means his pace isn't going to be a problem. So now consider that his pace isn't going to be a problem. With that finishing, he should be a really clinical striker. He had no traits, though, and that is a shame. And that's the main reason he's around 70,000 coins. We are going to be talking about chemstyles, pricing, and what I thought about the card at the end of the video. That includes new gen and old gen. But if you like gameplay, let's go jump into some gameplay, but have a word from today's sponsor. Are you tired of playing sweat teams like this? Make sure you go to Alt Nice, select foot 23 coins, choose which console and how many coins you'd like to buy, select your payment method, and don't forget to add code NANIC for 6% off on all orders. So the main thing for me with Nistelrooy is his ability to finish. We don't really care too much about his link-up play or his ability to run through behind the lines because we already know what his card kind of delivers. It honestly depends if he is good with this lengthy meta and how clinical he is up front, because he's going to be playing as our main striker today in this formation. And we need him to be as clinical as possible, especially if he gets a chance. We get him on the ball now. Quite a big guy. We've got him through here. Heavy touch. Oh, a little bit slow there. Not liking the look of that. Kick out way off. Down the bottom of the pit. That's a lovely pass. We find him again. Left foot. Oh, should have maybe just shot with a striker, but I wanted to test out his left foot. Rude. Lovely. Left foot. Good finish. And that's exactly what we need him to do. Either he's got 3-star, 5-star, or 1-star weak foot. He still needs to be able to finish in those situations if he hasn't going to have the pace or the passing. Good start from him there. Very difficult to use. I will mention that. There's Rude on the ball. Going to let it off. Got him running through. It's a terrible pass. We get a bit lucky though. Lovely little hold-up play from Rude there. Van Nistelrooy driving. Right foot this time. Great finish. And that is all we need him to do. It's just a little 1-2, run into the space, cross it, hit it across goal, and then get that goal. Very clinical, as we had assumed and hoped he would be. So we have got a race because he's going to jump into a second game. To our second game then. So far, so good with Rude Van Nistelrooy. I have to admit that he's not the best in terms of doing the start-off dribbling. So he's not the quickest into it. So you're going to want to do through balls of him to run onto, or just 1-2 passes like our opponent just did then to try and get him into the space. That's the best way to use him as a last man. In terms of clinicalness, he is very, very clinical. Great finish on him. So get me on the run already. Take that stride. And that's where he's best at doing. I know we got blocked by some bad animation. But in terms of how you can that heavy touch round opponents, because of the lengthy meta, that's what he's best at. That is for sure. Rude here. Lovely touch. Bit slow again, as I mentioned. Bit of skill. Get past. Left foot. Oh, very unlucky. But that's where he's the slowest and the fastest. In that sort of transition there we had. Rude here holding the ball up. Bit of skill we can. Ah, that's the problem with there. Trying to break through that sort of defense. Obviously, you should pass it. But just trying to highlight that. That's the issue you have with him. He is extremely difficult to use. Rude run into space. That's a bit better acceleration from there. Can we get it through to him? It's a tough pass. Good ball. And there you go. That's exactly what I mean with him trying to run into full sprint from touching the ball. He's just so slow at doing that. Even with a Hawk and being a lengthy accelerator, he's just not good enough to get past. You have to keep playing the ball behind or 1-2s, which is not a problem, but it does become very obvious what you're doing with him eventually because the opponent knows you can't run past. Like here, for example, 1-2 into the space. Now we can play the ball behind, and that's how we get into the space of him because he'll carry on doing the full stride sprint. Gonna do a Travella. Good save. Rude 1-2. Over the top. And that's exactly the only way you can play him in those runs. Lovely touchdown. Volley. Great finish. And that is exactly how you have to use him. A 1-2 over the top ball or along the ground for him to run on. That's how you get the most out of him. If he has to take a touch and then run, he is not the greatest at that, and that is something that is very good and very bad at the same time because you become extremely predictable with him. We've got him through again here, I think. Not the worst, not the greatest touch there, a bit unlucky. Bit lucky again. Ah, very unlucky. And we managed to get the loose ball. What is going on with this gameplay? Poor pass. Rude here, the Travella. Oh, so close. He can't do that, unfortunately, because he hasn't got the right traits, but you can keep trying. Counter attack, last attack, little 1-2, get Rude on the run. You can see he's just man marking the run and then switching to midfield because he knows we're going to play that pass. Not too much to expect from Rude here. Very clinical when we get a chance, but just trying to get him to have a chance is the most difficult part of this card. He is good at finishing. He's okay at passing, but he is terrible at dribbling with the ball. You have to play the balls over the top or into space to have a chance. So imagine you're playing someone at 5 at the back or extremely defensive. It's going to be so difficult to get Rude on the ball. You're going to have to sort of work around the space and then try and get him open inside the box if you can. There he is, Van Nistelrooy there, and that's what I mean by getting the space of him inside the box. Normally I would pass that extra, but because he was stood there ready, that's where we need him. 2 goals though, but that's the problem with him. Trying to find that space is very, very hard, unless you hit him on a counter-attack and get very lucky like we did. We can get to try a bit. Van Nistelrooy here. See what I mean? Just a bit sluggish. We do manage to get the ball out though. Lovely bit of skill, little layoff, lovely assist, and we get the goal. That is a great pass, and you will not believe how many times I've tried to do that dribbling with Van Nistelrooy there to get that pass. It looks great there, but he is very difficult to do that with. It's such a difficult card to use. He is clinical though, as we expected. Use him as a dummy run. We got an overlap if we need it. There he is, on to the end of it, and we knew he was going to finish with his left foot there. No one misses an open goal with that high finishing. Got his hat trick. Has been extremely difficult. I can't stress that enough to get a couple goals of him. But he is very clinical. That's one thing I will say. But not the fastest. That's the end of the game. I used the best gameplay I could find for Van Nistelrooy, of course. I wasn't expecting too much because, 1, we already know how FIFA is in terms of pace. 2, with the lengthy mare is an interesting twist to see if he's usable. Clinical, extremely. Good at finishing. Good shot power on him. But trying to get him into the box if your opponent is playing very defensive is extremely difficult. He is very good at 1-2s and running at the last man. He definitely has to play last striker. And you're going to have to spam the through balls to get him onto space. Because as soon as he runs onto a through ball, he is going to be very, very quick with the lengthy meta. The problem you have is, if you're playing intricate passing and stuff like that, you will struggle with him. That being said, let's jump onto Footbin. So we are on Footbin. I paid about 71,000 coins for him, I think. So he's around that price. I don't think he'll drop much more because his min price is 64k. I think he's just going to stay at that price. He'll probably go lower eventually over FIFA, of course. But as you can see, you've got quite a few choices on new gen what to play him. Anchor, Hawk, Sniper, Marksman, etc. So we went for a Hawk to try and boost that pace up. And for new gen, I think that is the best chem style. But if you're on old gen, it's got to be a Hunter, nothing else. Because you need to boost up his pace. He's very lacking on the left stick dribbling, and going from 0 to full speed, he takes too long. Especially everybody having fast defenders. But overall, he's not a terrible card. He is very difficult to use, very good at finishing, but very hard to get into games, especially if someone's playing 5 at the back or playing very deep and defensive. And that's something you've got to consider really with this type of card, is that sort of situation. But again, that being said, if you have any questions about this card or any other card in the game, comment down below. If you are new to the channel, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. Catch you in the next one. See you.